Yeah, so Tommy Tokia kind of stepping up as one of the guys on the defensive line that this year he'll be, the main guy at one tech. I'm curious as a leader, how have you seen him grow and take more of a leadership role on the defensive line?
Well, you could tell his growth by how he plays and just how he approaches the meeting room. And he's starting to take those young guys and carry them with him. He's starting to be a great role model for Ty Hamilton and just pushing him every day.
Do you see him as more of a vocal guy or is he more of a lead by example type of leader?
I feel like Tommy's a more of a lead by example.
Gotcha. How does he demonstrate that?
Um, just by doing everything that he's supposed to do and just like running to the ball. It's just the little stuff that matters and just giving those tips on technique and how to be right when you play.
Thank you.
Next up, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports with Spencer Holbrook on deck. Pat?
Hey, Javonte, we've seen in the past, and I'm sure you've seen it too, even before you got here, the success that these defensive ends can have with the rotation Coach Johnson likes. Now that you're here and you're a part of that, how much does that really benefit in terms of being fresh, those 30, 35 plays that he likes to talk about going at 100% for you?
I feel that being that we're in this rotation is the best for us. Being fresh is the best thing because when that tackle's getting tired, then it's just a new guy and it's a new face for him to go every time. And he's like, whoa, he doesn't know what he got himself into.
Thank you.
Next up, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row with Bill Landis on deck. Spencer?
Javonte, is it easier to have some patience knowing that, the defensive line has always been deep here and not really having to worry about, how many snaps you're getting because it seems like you guys rotate, but you're all okay with it. What's that like to know that you're not going to get as many snaps at Ohio State as maybe at other places, but you still, are going to get yours when you have a chance?
You just come to understanding that it's perfectly fine and you build a bond with the others. And like I answered in the past question, when it comes to that rotation, your body's feeling good, you're fresh, and with those plays, you make the best of them. So then it really just comes down to be the best for us. So then you're able to see that, okay, I may rotate in here and there, but with these plays, I feel good, and what you put on film shows for us, so you'll be fine.
Next up, Bill Landis with The Athletic and Nathan Baird on deck. Bill?
Hey, Javonte. It seems like you've been kind of waiting your time a little bit here, and I know you sort of put a lot of work into getting bigger to play your position and adding some good weight on. Just what's your mindset now then going into this season, knowing that, physically you've put that work in and now there's openings for you to really get an opportunity?
Right now I'm just focused on improving techniques and staying more sharp and keeping my body up and staying healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Next up, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com. Sorry about that, Nathan, with Austin Ward on deck. Nathan?
Yeah, Javonte, I kind of had a similar question. Just how do you feel like a different athlete now than you did when you got here, and maybe even compared to even a year ago at this time? Because I know that's been sort of a constant development to make you, I guess, more of a traditional defensive end in some ways, just physically. So how do you feel like a different athlete now?
Now I feel, being that I have more weight on me, I feel like I'm more stronger, and what comes with strength, you get more explosive. So I feel that in all, I've been doing real good with everything.
Next up, Austin Ward with Letterman Row and Brendan Gulick on deck. Austin?
Javonte, you might notice the theme here that we're all curious about, the way that you've bulked up and the changes that you've made since you first arrived. When you're with Coach Mick, is it just the strength program? Was it things that you had to do to eat, a combination? Like, how is it that you've transformed to what you look like now from when you arrived?
I had to eat more, just a higher calorie intake, and then being here at Ohio State, our workouts are real good. So you just put in the work in the weight room, eat, and then you should all be fine. I mean, it comes to the point where it gets hard to kind of like, you'll put that weight on, but then it kind of gets hard to maintain it. But once you get past that hump, you're perfectly fine.
Next up, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated with Dan Hope on deck. Brendan?
Javonte, this might seem like an odd question, but if you were going to give a scouting report on yourself, how would you scout yourself?
How would I scout myself?
Yeah, if you were going to tell us what you think your strengths and weaknesses are, or maybe how an offensive lineman could attack you, or where they would be vulnerable, what would you say some of those things are?
Well, I guess I could say that being that I'm not the heaviest end, that they could say like they could try attacking me more, but I don't feel like that'll work because with that comes my length, and I feel like in football length has a very good leverage on your side. And then I say a strength of mine would just be my speed.
Last couple questions for Javonte. Up first, Dan Hope with 11 Warriors and Bill Rabinowitz on deck. Dan?
Hey, Javonte, who are some of the young defensive ends who have come along this preseason? Is there anybody who's impressed you as somebody who could help you guys down the line?
I would say when it comes to the young defensive ends, I would say Noah Potter's doing good. He's starting to come along more than where he was, and Darion Henry, he's still a freshman, but I feel once he gets everything down packed and in control, he's going to be a good player here.
Thanks, Javonte.
I'm wondering, I asked somebody earlier about this. How difficult is it to get the little things down? I know you've had a long process from outside linebacker to defensive end, but all of the little things that Larry Johnson wants in your toolbox, like how difficult is that to master?
I'll say it's kind of hard because you start doing something a certain way, so then it becomes repetition. But then as you begin to say, like, as the start of your get off, you spread your arms apart too far. So when you come across an O lineman, it's kind of harder to hit the arms because your hands aren't really up as much. So it's just like certain things like that, like fixing and tweaking your steps that will make you really, really a really good player. It's kind of like it's hard, but then once you get it, it's really good.
Javonte, thank you so much for your time this afternoon with our reporters. Have a great day and a great practice.
Thank you, guys.